Hey y'all, how you doing? Thank you so much for visiting my channel, Days of Danny. I appreciate you clicking on that button and joining me for this review of Married at First Sight, Season 10, Decision Day. I believe it's episode 16. Um, so it's Decision Day, y'all. Please definitely, while you're waiting for this review, go ahead and click that like button and hit the subscribe button for more content and information from me, Days of Danny, or Danny. Um, and I just want to see what y'all have to say about these decisions these people have made, though I think we all could have imagined what they would have decided anyway. Um, So the first couple that we saw was Jessica and Austin. It looks like the show wanted to get them out the way, just like, you know, we all did, because we know what they were going to say. Um, they talked about, Austin said we did have some ups and downs, and but the main issues that they really had were the him not saying the L word and she wanting him to say it, and the fact that he has travel with his job. So, they kind of talked about that. And Pastor Kyle said, we all here on the panel all have spouses and we all have to leave them, for work. And it does work out. You have to find, your way. And so, they did come to the conclusion, I believe um, Jessica went first, and she says, yes, I want to stay with you. I want to continue the marriage. And then, of course, Austin is like, well, um, I know you have these feelings, and I understand, just all around the bush. And then he finally says, I do love you, Jessica. So he did finally tell her that he loved her, and they decided to stay in the marriage. So good for them. I think that we all knew that that was going to be the outcome. They had such good chemistry, and I'm glad that they decided to do that. Um, but yeah, that was them. So hopefully we'll see. The um, six month the 6 month update, I believe, is next week. So we will see how everything has been going with this travel. So the next couple is Taylor and Brandon. Taylor shows up first and by herself, and the experts are asking her, how she's feeling, and what was her thoughts about this relationship. And she's says she's hanging. What did she say? She would be disappointed if he didn't show up. She says she did hang out with him when the cameras weren't rolling, and he seemed like a whole nother person. And she thought that maybe they could really work it out. But, she'd be disappointed if he didn't show up because of that. And then finally Brandon walks in all nonchalant like he wasn't never late. And they ask him, did he think he was, did he think he was going to show up? Or did he just now decide? Or he said, no, I wasn't really going to. But he said, I was waiting on an apology from the production for making me late for work. And Pastor Kyle said, well, what do you mean making you late for work? And he says, on a couple occasions, producers have made me late for work. I tell them that I have to be done by XYZ time, and they've made me late for work. Whenever we left the retreat, I needed to, have time to take a shower, get dressed, and then get to my event, and we didn't get there on time, and it was their fault. And Pastor Kyle said that's a lie, and they did not make you late for work. And he said, I beg to differ. They sure did. And so they went back and forth a little bit, but it wasn't Dr. Viviana starts to have her say, and then he says, hold that thought. And he was out to the bathroom, and Pastor Cal says, see, this is what I'm saying. Why are you just going to get up and have to go to the bathroom? Do you have incontinence issues? I died when he said that. Like, did he just ask this man, did he need a diaper? But he said, well, I got to go to the bathroom, and went on to the bathroom, which, hey, maybe he had to go pee. I don't know. He takes his little time, and they're sitting there waiting. And I guess Pastor Kyle just kind of says, you can't just be holding up production. You don't just stop in the middle of, a scene, and this is work. Brandon was just not having it. He finally shows back up, and they ask, okay, well, let's go ahead and get y'all's decision. And Taylor, says with so sweetly, but I wish she would have said, this is some bull. I don't know. She should have been a little harder, but whatever. She was like, I just don't think, I think I want a divorce at the end of that. And Brandon was like, all right, I'm done. What did he say? I'm done with this. He just left. Just got up and left. Didn't have no explanation of why. He could care less. It was just, I feel like it was like, okay, I have to be here to collect my check. And so I'm going to sit here like a good little puppy and make myself visible. And then once it's over, and I'm out. And that's exactly what it looked like. So he says, I'm out, and he says, I'm done with this, and leaves, get his little backpack, and left. And so, they, tell Taylor, we're sorry about this, but, and I'm sure she's probably over it too. She just gathered herself a little better than he did. That's all that was. So that was the end of Brandon and Taylor. I don't know if they'll show up to the reunion or not, but we'll see. So the next couple is Mika and Michael. Mr. Michael sits down first, and the experts then make Mika comes in, and they look at each other a little bit. But they don't look at each other, I'm sorry. And they asked what the main issues were with the relationship, and and Mika was like, just that it was just a lot of dishonesty in the relationship, and he just could not, of course, not say that he was just uncomfortable. So when they asked Mika, would she want to stay in the marriage first? And she says, I think that, we came to basically some middle ground at the last dinner that we had. And, there was some good things. I'm not saying I was perfect, but I feel like I don't know my husband. I think that there was a lot of deceit, a lot of lies, and I just don't feel like I should stay with someone that I don't even know. So she said, I want a divorce. And, Mr. Michael was sitting there like, he was trying to muster up some tears. This looked like what he was trying to do, as he does. And he says, I did he say, I was as honest as I could be. As honest as you could be. There's either honest or not honest. Honest or not honest. There's either the truth or a lie. You a grown man. Anyway, So he says, I don't believe in divorce, and he just really doesn't have any much more to say after that. And the doctors and Pastor Kyle had to step in and say, well, we're sorry that this didn't work out, but uh, you know, sorry, but see you later. And so they leave, and I think that was probably the best decision. I don't think that would have gotten any better anytime soon. That would have been a lot of work, and why would you want to start your marriage of someone you don't even know that hard? So that was over. We'll see what happens with them at the reunion also. So the next couple we'll talk about is Katie and Derek. They came in the room and they hugged each other. They're the only couple that came in and hugged each other and greeted each other. They asked, how you feel about each other, and and Derek says, we did. He felt he was very happy that he liked the fact that she speaks her mind and that she's very direct. It can be a little harsh, but he does like that. And she said she felt the relationship, she didn't like some of the things, and but she feels like she's not done with trying to learn him or trying to work on the relationship. So at the end, they did decide to stay together. But she was, I understand she was direct, but I can't believe that she could be so direct. She says she deals with children, so I feel like she would have to know how to be more, I don't know, come a little better with how she brings or presents things. She just kind of lets him have it. I understand you only have but so much time and you kind of just don't want to beat around the bush, but there's tact that you could have had. So, I don't know. So yeah, that was them. They stayed together, and we shall see what happens to them on the reunion. Not really feeling like they are going to be, they're going to have some ups and downs. So then we see Mindy and Zach. I'm not sure why. They sit down and, for the first time, and they separated. And, they ask Zach, why do you feel like they'd ask Zach, do you feel like you were talking in circles? He was like, the reason why I sounded like I was talking in circles is because she never took the first answer. Basically, this is how I'm going to break it down. She never took the first answer. So, and wanted him to, I guess, elaborate all the time. So I guess that was his way of breaking it down for her. And that's why it sounded like he's talking in circles, which I kind of understand. I definitely do. It's almost like you have to, in your own way, bring it to present what you're feeling to a person, because they're not just taking your, but who wants to take a 1 or 2 word answer? You need some elaboration, and that's kind of what men do. They want to just kind of say, yeah, I'm good. Yeah. So, sometimes, and not give you the fullness of conversation that you're looking for. So that was what he said. Of course, they didn't stay together because they already worked together. And Mindy says, it was the best decision for me to separate from Zach. I think, I wasn't getting what what I deserved. So, and they showed the clip of him lying, and he was just like, well, I guess I should have been honest. You should have been, you think? Oh, Lordy. So, after that, everybody had their decision day. So at the end, you see that, Katie and Derek stayed together, and Jessica and Austin stayed together. They all had a little meet up at a restaurant later on, or next day or so. And those 4 meet up first. You know, they're all celebrating and whatnot. Taylor and Mika walk up in there together. I believe it was Michael and Zach. They came in together. We don't see Brandon, but they do say that maybe he was there, but he just wasn't mic'd. That's what I'm getting from other reviews that I've seen, which I didn't notice that. But maybe I need to go back and watch that. You know, they talk, you know, what's next, and Jessica and Austin said, you know, they're talking about plans on working on the situation of him, you know, working out of town. And Katie and Derek, you know, announced they have found a new house or townhouse or apartment, and they just signed a lease, so they'll be moving in with each other. So that is their next moves as married couples. And you know, they cheers, and they're, you know, they're new friends, and you know, they had a good little time. And I think that was just a celebration of a relief of the decision that they had to make. So that was pretty cool. I think everybody made probably the right decisions. I believe that, you know, the other ones that did not work out just were not going to be any better if they stayed married. So I think some of them are probably even young, and maybe that was just a learning experience. It was almost like that was their man, that was their woman, and they didn't work out, and they could have, and unfortunately they have to do paperwork instead of breaking up. But yeah, that was decision day of Married at First Sight season 10. Pretty quick little review recap. I know next season is Married at First Sight and in New Orleans, and I am personally from New Orleans, so I kind of feel like I want to review it. I'm not sure if I am or not, because this was so long and drawn out, and they are already saying that they're doing 5 couples. So I don't know. And though I was born there, I don't know every aspect of New Orleans, but just because, you know, none of them are my family members, but you never know. Who may know who in my family, because I know I have a lot down there. But yeah, so that should be fun. And I'm still thinking if I'm going to review it. But yeah, so everybody, please give me a comment on what you thought about Decision Day. Did you think they made the right decisions? What you think about the next upcoming season of season 11? And are y'all ready for it? And please give me a thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and put the bell on. I'm trying to think of new content. It's definitely so much craziness going on in the world, and I'm just trying to figure it out, because it's just, I'm trying not to be depressed. Craziness. But y'all hang in there, and stay safe. Cover your face when you go out, because it's definitely it's too much. But y'all have a good day. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Like and subscribe. Bye.